Welcome to The Explainer. So, you're looking at the Pakistan Stock Exchange, maybe from abroad, and it feels a bit complex, right? Well, today we're going to break down one of the most important tools you'll need to navigate it, the stock market indices.
Okay, let's dive right in. When you first peek into any new stock market, it can be a lot, just a flood of information. And you're thinking, how do I even get my bearings here?
Think about it. The Pakistan Stock Exchange, we're talking over 500 companies listed. So are things going up? Are they going down? Is it just chaos? Trying to watch every single one of them is just impossible. The real question is, how do you find that clear signal in all that noise?
Okay, and that is exactly where this brilliant little tool comes into play. It's called a stock market index. And I want you to think of this as your compass. Seriously, it's your guide for figuring out the market's direction in a single glance.
So what is an index, really? Well, think of it like a performance scorecard, or maybe a highlight reel. Instead of trying to watch every single player in the game, all 500 of them, you're just tracking a hand-picked group, the star players, And their performance gives you a really good idea of how the entire game is unfolding.
Exactly. It's your compass. It tells you if you're heading into some choppy waters or if it's smooth sailing ahead. Honestly, it's the absolute simplest way to see the big picture, the overall trend of the market.
All right, so let's start reading our compass. And the first most important reading you need to know in Pakistan is the KSE-100. You're going to hear this one a lot.
100. That's the magic number here. But what does it mean? Well, this is the benchmark. It's the headline. It's the big one.
So the KSE-100 tracks the top 100 companies on the Pakistan Stock Exchange. We're talking the biggest, most influential players. And they're chosen based on something called market capitalization, which is basically just the total value of all their shares. It's a great way to measure a company's real size and impact. The whole idea is pretty simple, right? If these giants, these big players are doing well, that's a very strong signal that the overall market is in good shape.
And that's why people call the KSE-100 the market's true north. It's the main indicator everyone, local and foreign investors alike, looks at to get a feel for the country's economic health and, maybe even more importantly, to gauge investor confidence. Okay, but the KSE-100, as important as it is, isn't the only reading on our compass. If you want a broader view, or maybe a more specialized route, there are a couple of other key indices you should know about. So you've got the KSE-100 on one hand. That's your sharp, focused view of the market leaders. And then on the other hand, you have the All-Share Index. And yeah, the name kind of gives it away, right? This one gives you the full 360-degree panoramic view. It tracks every single company listed on the exchange. Now, there's a trade-off here. It's basically clarity versus completeness. See, while the All-Share Index shows you the whole picture, the movements of hundreds of smaller companies can make it a bit more volatile, a bit jumpy, and honestly, sometimes harder to read than the steadier, more focused KSE-100. All right, on to our third and final index. And we've got another number for you, 30. This one points to a very specific and, for a lot of investors around the world, a very important niche. This is the KMI-30 Index, and that KMI stands for KSE Mizan Islamic. What it does is track the top 30 companies on the stock exchange that are Shariah-compliant, meaning they operate according to Islamic financial principles. And this, right here, really shows you the power of an index. If your personal investment strategy needs to follow those principles, the KMI-30 does all the heavy lifting. It filters the entire market for you and creates this clear, specialized route for your investments.
So, okay, we've got these different compass readings, the KSE-100, the All-Share, the KMI-30, but why does this actually matter? Like, how do you use this stuff in the real world as an investor?
Well, think of these indices as your practical, hands-on toolkit. First up, benchmarking. You can measure your own portfolio's performance right against the KSE-100. Are you beating the market? This is how you find out. It's the standard everyone uses. Then there's market trends. If you see the index climbing, that's a huge sign of positive sentiment.
It tells you investors are feeling optimistic, which of course helps with your investment decisions. You can align your strategy. Maybe you want the stability of the big guys in the KSE-100, or maybe you're focused on that KMI-30 niche. And this is a big one, risk assessment. A falling index can be that early warning sign, a heads up that a market downturn might be coming, which gives you time to react.
So let's just wrap this up neatly. The KSE-100, that's your go-to gauge for overall market sentiment. It's the pulse of the market. The All-Share Index, that's your complete bird's-eye view of everything that's happening. And the KMI-30, that's for investors who are specifically focused on Islamic finance. 3 different tools for 3 different jobs. So there you have it. Once you understand how to read these 3 key indices, you're not just guessing anymore. You're actually equipped with a really powerful set of navigational tools, and they're going to help you make smarter and way more confident investment decisions in the Pakistan market.
And that's our explainer. Your compass is set. So the only question left is, which direction are you going to navigate first?